Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux with another supporter stream. If I can find the thing there and unmute everybody. I remember to unmute people and to do the banner today. I'm shocked. Of course, I didn't take a break. I usually take a break for around dinner time. I didn't take a break today, but hey, we're all good. And I have video footage recorded for either a Saturday or a Tuesday video already. I'm ahead of the game, people. I'm trying to up the quality around here. It's going to be a 60 frame per second. You know, motivated to stop being lazy on the channel a little bit, right? Because frankly, everything I do, I'm lazier than I should be. If I were to stop, refocus, and put a little bit more effort into this, I could probably blow this thing up pretty fast.
Hey,
and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Despite that, I'm not paying you any more on Patreon than I already am. Sorry, guy.
That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate all your support anyway. That's fine. That's fine. Because, see, here's the thing. What the patrons give me is awesome, and I love it, and it helps pay many of the bills. What I'm trying to do is ramp up the advertising revenue a little bit more.
No.
I know it's evil of me, but very evil of me. But hey, that way, you know, just the big companies are footing the bill instead of you guys. But you know, either or.
Subsidizing costs, selling your soul.
That's right, selling my soul. Because every now and again, you need to sell your soul. Like I put a affiliate promo in this video I pre-recorded. Man, I'm like selling my soul to the devil.
And how do you put a value on a soul?
It depends on the quality of the soul.
That's a good one.
So there you go.
Stop giving out your favorite elitists.
Yeah, you know. Well,
Tom, do you get emails a lot about? I see so many YouTubers that are like doing stuff like Skillshare and what's Skillshare, NordVPN, and
yeah, I get a lot of them. So one of the ones what precipitated our discussion today is I'm going to be doing the E operating system very soon. Either, like I said, either Tuesday or Saturday, depends on when when all this footage comes out. They were pestering me for months. I was like, I will get to it. And then I had to order a battery for one of the phones, and then came in, and it actually took me a grand total of 5 minutes to install the ROM. So I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and look into this. So we're going to be doing a good review of EOS soon, and so that's what's there. But yes, I do get, and some are insane. It's like, you know, you get things like Dollar Shave Club. I'm like, I'm sorry, no. I paid the amount of money that Dollar Shave Club costs per month, and I do not have to buy shaving supplies for at least the next 10 years. So why would I want to do that? And I'm not going to recommend that either. So yes, I do get lots and lots, but I'm very selective about the affiliates I use.
That's why I don't
have a lot. Yeah.
I know a lot of YouTubers who just get those and they just advertise them just to make money.
Yeah, there's some like Bluehost is a big aggressive one, and they pay you a lot. They're one of the highest paying affiliates, but their service is horrible, so I would never recommend them. In fact, I have an affiliate account from Bluehost from when I used them a long time ago, and they'll still send me emails, and every time I'll send an email back like, delete this affiliate account, I will not use it, I will not promote your products, and they don't. So, you know, I have a Bluehost affiliate. They would pay more than any of my other affiliates. I just think they provide crappy service, so I'm not going to recommend it, you know. But yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of folks on the comments here. Well, 10 likes and the stream hasn't started. I know, man. That's because, like, where are you guys at though? Like, which is hilarious. Like, I think YouTube is throttling my videos again. Like, I usually do really, really good view counts on the Distro Wars. I did a Distro Wars on Arch, and it has not even crossed 1,000 views yet. Like, what? That's weird.
It might be because the average snob just doesn't like Arch.
Or the average snob just doesn't like me. You know, I drop truth bombs like Linux.
I mean, I didn't want to be that brutal about it, but yes, I barely like you.
I know. I'm telling you, you're here anyway. Go figure.
About me.
That's right. Let's see. Yes, we are on Discord. If you are not on the Discord server and you'd like to, tlm.li/STLD. Let's see. Shadow Sly, greetings. Mitchell, how's it going there? Always learn more about phones. Very good. Razilla Reviews. Time for the kitty cam. Yeah, Kitty's on vacation. He's wearing a mask. He's having a really hard time drinking that margarita through the mask. It's kind of funny. Was it down in, I think it was down in like either West Keys. No, it wasn't West Keys. So I think it was Miami. Like the police snipers, like hiding in the bushes. If you take off your mask to drink a bottle of water, they send you like a $500 fine. Like what the hell are you doing?
drill a little hole and stick a straw in it.
I'm telling you. CDC basically came out today and said, hey, if your mask allows any type of breathing supplemental, make it easier to breathe, you shouldn't be wearing it. Well, thank you for suffocating me. Man, so I'll just walk around with saran wrapper on my face, right?
Yeah, I'm going back to school next week, and I have to wear a mask all day.
Even though the governor said mask laws are illegal in your state.
Well, I go to a private school.
Still doesn't matter. A governor's law will override a public school. I mean, you'd think. I mean, I don't know for sure. Penn State, of course. You think that's bad. Penn State University, if you want to return to campus, you have to sign. They're not calling it a contract. They're calling it a compact. Part of the compact is you will get a flu vaccine. So now apparently you have to have a flu vaccine to attend Penn State University, even though the flu kills like nobody in the demographic of a college student age. Neither does COVID for that matter, but you know, that's all part of the COVID plan. The COVID plan requires you get a flu vaccine. Scratch your head on that one for a little bit.
You know how they're sending kids back to school in my town?
Oh God.
First, the first bunch of them, the lower age groups, go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The older ones go Wednesday. No, they go Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Oh, yes, the Saturday school. Fun.
Yes.
I have been telling people for a decade that that's what State College is trying to do, because I cannot figure out how a school district with more PhDs per capita among their teacher population runs on a 6-day schedule. Can anybody else explain any logic for that other than eventually want to go to a 6-day school week? They've been running on a 6-day schedule for 10 years.
Well, the kids aren't getting 6 days. They're only getting 3 days apiece.
Yeah.
You know,
It's weird.
that's how they can keep them
Now,
somewhat 6 feet apart in the classroom.
Some of those, though, are requiring online for the days they're not in school. Is your district doing that or not?
It's unclear yet. They haven't really decided whether to actually make the days that they're going to school longer or do online.
Okay. And then did you guys see the teacher who put some things out saying, hey, we don't know how we're going to teach our propaganda to the children with possible parents hanging around because parents are dangerous. That was an exciting Twitter feed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get off of the crazy politics, the crazy COVIDs, and let's talk about phones because that's what we're here to see. All right. So we are talking about smartphones today. We want to talk about smartphones and practices. I have me a deck of cards right here. I got me 3 Nexus 5Xs, and they're all running a different custom ROM. We'll talk about those, and then everyone here's got a pile of phones and or devices, and we'll kind of chat about what we're using. So let's see. I think, Quentin, you're going to take the longest, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So should Quint go first or last? What do you guys think?
You can go first. I don't care.
All right. You all right, Tech? All right.
That's fine with me. It doesn't bother me at all.
All right, Quint, go ahead and go first because you'll take the
Here
longest.
are my 3 phones that I have right now. I have the Essential phone is my main phone. This is just running stock Lineage OS. I don't like to tinker with this phone because this is what I use as my daily driver.
Okay, so that's your daily. All right, so we're going to focus most on that.
Yeah.
So just give us a brief overview of the other ones.
So these 2 phones here this is a Google Pixel, the original one, and then this is a Motorola Moto X4. These are both running my custom ROM, which is called Better Lineage, which unfortunately I don't really have the time to develop anymore. I'll leave a link to it because the other maintainer who works on it with me said that he's interested in maintaining it. So he might start maintaining it. And we might get more builds, but right now I haven't done much work on it. And And so these run my custom ROM, which just has, it's essentially stock Lineage OS, but there's a couple extra additions in here. Like I ported the Nextcloud sync functionality from E. And I'm trying to think, I included a different browser. I included the one it's just called Privacy Browser on F-Droid. This is the one I like.
Okay. And what's that? Is that a ground up or is that a fork of something?
It's a from scratch browser.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and it also has micro G and it has F-Droid pre-installed. So that's pretty much what I have.
Okay.
On Open Camera is the default camera app instead.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah,
so
I'll talk about this phone now.
All right. So that one there, since we're talking about mobile best practices, what do you do to maximize your privacy when you're using your phone?
So first of all, I don't use Google services at all. I use micro G on my phone, which is a for those occasional apps that I need to run that require some kind of Google service. Micro G works well. It's open. It's essentially an open source rewrite of Google Play services.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put a link to it right here in the chat for you guys if you want to check it out. But you can there's Lineage builds that have micro G pre-installed.
So E is an example of that, and I'll talk about E a little bit.
And there actually is it's called Lineage OS for micro G, or with Lineage OS with micro G or something like that. That's what I have on here. It's other than that, I use F-Droid as my default app store. I have Aurora Store just in case I need to run something. Like, for example, I have the Sonos app on here. That's probably the only app that I have that's not a FOSS app.
So the Aurora Store allows you to download Google app stores without a Google account. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what it does.
All right. So Aurora Store, if you're looking for something like that.
Yeah, it's on F-Droid. And then I'm trying to think. So I use Open Camera as my default camera app. That's better than like all the Google cameras and stuff that track you. Trying to think what else I use. I don't really use any kind of Tor or anything because I don't really need that, and I don't do a ton of browsing on my phone.
Okay.
I use most of the apps that I have on here are either from F-Droid or they're APKs. Like, for example, my family has Apple Music, and Apple actually provides an APK download of Apple Music on their website.
That's totally weird.
I know. I think the reason they do it is because there's some countries that Apple Music is available in that, like China, for example, that Google Play isn't available in. So that's why they do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't really use a ton of apps. I don't use any social media or anything because that's all bad.
Mad.
Social media is bad. Don't use social media.
I use OSM as my Maps app. I really like that app. The only thing is it's mainly a limitation with OpenStreetMap. It's that there isn't really much addressing in there.
Yeah, pretty much none.
There actually is addressing in my city here. There's actually like my house, for example. You can put my address in, and it comes up.
And what is that? No.
You can put if you look, like some like larger cities have addressing in, but smaller cities don't.
Yeah, we don't have good addressing. There's a few major things you find in address. Now, there is a tool that I looked into once that it's like a coordinates to address, or I think it's address to coordinates that you could use in theory to sync with it. But it doesn't work much better, and it requires Google accounts to use.
There's some online services that do that too. You can just look up address to coordinates and just find some online websites.
Yeah, you could do that. That's a little bit of a pain, but it is a workaround if you need it. I've always been an advocate of if you need a map for navigation, you should go get a car GPS because they generally don't track you. Some of them track some data, but as far as individual users, they don't, because they don't
Yeah.
have specific.
I'm also
addresses.
pretty much everywhere. I have a car I drive, and so pretty much everywhere that I drive to, I know how to get there without directions.
Yeah, and that's better.
Thing.
All right. Any final thoughts for you before we jump on over?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. Just stay away from Google is the main thing.
Yeah, if for privacy, absolutely. Where is that? My house is here. There you go. All right, Dan, what's up? And you use iPhone, right, Dan?
Yes.
All right. So, what do you do for privacy, if anything, and why do you use an iPhone?
Well, it started out like this. Back about 10 years ago, I bought this thing. This is a second generation one. iPad. I used it for about 6 months, played with the App Store. My cousin recommended this to me because his wife uses an iPad, and he swore up and down that the Apple Store had the best selection of apps at the time.
Which you
So
probably did at the time.
yeah, this is 10 years ago. So I got this thing. I tried playing Angry Birds with it and everything else. And it seemed like every time I wanted to do something, I needed more than one app to complete the task. So I kind of fell back into favor with my laptop because I could do everything in one app or one piece of software with that. And at the time, I was living with somebody else and another family member. And she picked it up and she started playing with it, and we put some apps on it. She happened to like gambling apps. So we put a couple of slot machines and stuff like on it. And after a while, I told her, I tell you what, I'm staying here. You're not really charging me nothing at the moment. Take this thing and use it. I'm not using it. So I basically gave it to her. Well, after a while, I had a flip phone. And I think a while back, I showed you the flip phone I had.
Mm-hmm.
And the battery in it started going bad. And I'm thinking it's time to get another phone. And I thought in the back of my head, well, I got used to using the iPad and moving around in that really well. And I got that figured out to where I could actually do something with it, even though it took 3 apps to do it. So I'll just get an iPhone. I already know how to use it. So I went and I got an iPhone 5. And it wasn't cheap. It ouched at the store. And I kept it for a couple years. I think in 2016, I went to a couple of rock concert shows down the street here because we have an Anthem theater and they come around all the time. And I wanted to shoot some video. Well, this thing's only got like 8 or 16 gigs of RAM in it. So it didn't take that 1 or 2 songs to eat up all the RAM.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, it's going into 2017 now. It's time for a new phone. So this is the current phone I got that's lasted me since 2017. Now, when I bought these things, I didn't have anything like privacy or anything like that in mind. I've already now, because of which I've told you, been sucked into the Apple ecosystem. I now had an account and all that junk. Yeah. So this has been my primary phone on it. There's some things I don't like that Apple's done over the time I've had this. They put all this junk in here that I'll never use, like
I just create a big folder called crap, throw it all in there, and throw that as far away
Keynote and GarageBand and movie.
You can delete a lot of that stuff.
Well, they used to have a standard music app that accessed the phone's music system. They tore that out and threw something in called Apple TV. So that I've been having a love-hate relationship to what Apple does to this thing. For about 6 months, I wouldn't even update this thing. That's how I was going with it. Because every time I updated, I got something I didn't like. When it comes to this phone, I very seldom update anything in it until I'm feeling really brave and have a lot of time set aside in case it blows up. But I did find some really good apps in the process that can help you get around some of these things. There's an app in the App Store called FLAC, F-L-A-C. That could be, that's your music player. What it does is it sandboxes a chunk of memory
Yeah.
in your phone and dedicates it to that app only.
Yeah. VLC does the same on
Yes,
Apple.
I have VLC on here too. It's full of rock videos.
Cool. Yeah.
And it sandboxes them off too in the player and so on and so forth. But I had to discover all these little things because Apple was tearing up the usefulness of the phone.
Yeah, it might be about time to jump ship.
Well, no, this is okay. Now, I've had this phone the entire time since I've met you guys. And if you guys have more or less reinforced, it's a better thing to keep this and deal with the quirks than to go over to the Android side.
But there's some things that are slowly changing in that world, and I'll get into that. Things to think about, but we'll see what you think.
Verizon is constantly pestering me to upgrade this thing with unbelievable deals on new phones.
Yeah,
I can get one thing I did. I went through the 16 gig phone. This one's a 256 gig phone.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I would suggest, Dan, is just don't buy the phone from the carrier. If it's Android, you can't unlock it. Like before I had the Essential phone, I had a Google Pixel 2. That was the first phone I had. They disable the option to unlock it.
Yeah, Verizon's offered me a new iPhone 11 for $450, which is dirt cheap these days for an iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, check to see if what the price is on Amazon. Like, I've had really good luck buying phones on Amazon. I've had good luck buying phones, GameStop actually, because you can have them shipped directly to the store and inspect it before you take it home.
Apple also sent me. They sent me a sale on a phone, iPhone 11 for $450 also, but that's with qualifying trade-in.
Yeah.
Now, when you trade it in, what do they get? All your data?
Well, the idea is that you're going to back up all your data to the cloud. You trade it in, and you're going to
use
just
the
get
cloud.
The site that
now this thing finally hit end of life, meaning it don't work anymore, and that's why I got it back. I had given it to someone in my family. They literally got tons of joy out of it. Matter of fact, they'd call me up and ask me, "Can I buy some coins for my slot machines?" I'd say sure, and I'd get an email how much they spent, and I always kept a couple iTunes cards in my account for them.
Yeah.
Tom, the site that I like is called Swappa. It's for used phones, but they do all sorts of background checks to verify, that you're actually getting the phone and stuff like that. That's where I got this phone.
Yeah. I think I looked at that at one point in time.
I don't know how long these things naturally last.
I mean, they'll last a while. I got my iPad, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago now, maybe about 3 or 4. I forget how long I've had it. I've had it for a little while. It's been working great. It's
this one's been running for 10 years.
I think that's an iPad Air 1, I think, which still gets the latest updates last I knew.
The battery finally gave out in it.
Yeah, sent it to an e-waste store, and there you go. Mark, how's it going?
Hey, Mark.
Oh, you're muted, Mark.
So, any advice you got out there for...
yeah, we'll
there
get
we go.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? So we're talking phones. What are you talking about with phones? What are we doing for security, privacy, and phones and stuff?
Well, I don't have to. Luckily, I run Apple. Of course, it's the iOS, so I'm not. My Android phone, my Moto E4 Plus, is kind of out of service at the moment, so I'm not really doing any kind of thing like Lineage OS or whatever. However, if I did have an Android still and that was my daily driver, I would look at doing something like Lineage because it's been around a while. It's trusted enough. Yeah. Despite that issue they had where they played the stupid April Fool's Day prank.
And I haven't seen them do any of that for a while. So.
They quit doing it.
They grew up.
Yeah. But, I mean, I love my iPhone. I feel like it's secure enough. I wish Apple was even more secure. I feel a lot of that is somewhat marketing, but
I mean, I think Apple's pretty secure. It's
overall
questionable on the privacy, particularly if you're using the iCloud. So the phone itself on Apple is very secure. and
Yeah.
private. The problem is once you put the data in the cloud, now Apple actually has access to all your data. So it's encrypted going from your phone to the cloud, but once it's hanging out in their cloud, they can actually see all the data. So you never want to use the cloud services with Apple if you're concerned about that.
Let me ask you this.
well, I'll
If you
cut
buy
the
another
iCloud off.
phone, will they allow you to download all the apps you've purchased to your new phone?
On
Yes.
iPhone? Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes,
all
they
the
do.
all of the apps are in your Apple ID. So you just sign in with the same Apple ID, and then you just go to the purchase apps thing, and it'll show you all the apps you have.
Yeah, and I have a little concern about that as far as tying them all to the Apple ID. I would love to do so, but I'm a little concerned about how secure that would be compared to something like Bitwarden as far as an open source.
Well, I mean, again,
solution.
it's secure. It's just the questionability of the privacy. There's two different things: privacy and security.
Tom, one of the questions I've had for you, since you used to have an iPhone, did you
Come
use
in.
an Apple ID with your iPhone?
Well, you have to
Okay.
use an Apple ID to download
All right,
apps,
I better go downstairs.
but
Koopy. I love you, bud.
the Apple ID was only used for that. And I would actually, I don't keep it on, even on the
Good boy
iPad.
tonight.
I don't keep the Apple ID on the iPad at all. I will log back in if I need to download something, and then download it, and then I remove the Apple ID from it again.
I have an iPad, and that's what I've done with it.
Yeah, so that's my take. Mark, anything else on the using your phone privately or not, or if not, we'll jump over to tech. All right, tech, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm running the iPhone as my 10R as my daily driver. I thought we were just going to be talking about our open source stuff and what we do on the open source and custom ROM side of things. So,
No, that's whatever we're doing. So
yeah. To you, Dan, yeah, you can back up all your own data on your own computer and never use iCloud at all, and just mirror your everything that's on your current iPhone onto a new iPhone. It'll
With
just
the
stop removing it.
iTunes app?
Yeah, you can actually encrypt your backups as well, so nobody will have access to them, and they don't get uploaded to iCloud or anything like that.
Yeah, my
So-
iTunes is in a Windows virtual machine.
Well, then you're perfectly safe. So
yeah, and all that's done locally. So yeah, that is the option to mirror.
It's
your
still
system.
Windows
Yep.
7 too.
Nice.
well, so to answer your question earlier, no, Apple doesn't collect your data. Apple absolutely does not want to.
Well, yeah, well,
have
I'd
something
expect
like
that with all the money I'm paying them for a new device, man. They don't need my data. They they got the money instead.
Yeah, they're a hardware company, not a data
I question
company.
whether they do or not. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of their messaging.
All
so
I'm talking
sure.
about is if you take your iPhone to an Apple store and you say I want to upgrade to the new phone, they will make sure your phone is backed up, and then they will wipe it with you there before the trade-in, and make sure your data is on the new phone.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Now, if you put anything up in iCloud, there's no telling.
I got three of these
that's my big
devices
concern.
I got to figure out how to get rid of and get the data off of them. That's the only reason I asked for this back for my
Okay, so to get the data off of it, just go in and do a factory reset. That'll wipe the data. And then what you need to do
is that easy, or is that something I go read up on?
It's just a button in the settings. So just dig through the settings, you'll find the reset. And then once you have it done, most states it does not cost anything to get rid of e-waste because they realize if they charge for it, then people would be throwing their lithium batteries in the trash can.
This doesn't power on anymore.
Okay, but will it power on with a power plug plugged into it?
No.
Then you want to take a hammer to it and smash it back.
I knew that was going to be your answer because
and then take it to the e-waste store.
It's either shotgun or hammer.
Yeah. Or you can use a heat gun and peel the thing off and replace the battery or something. But
it's not supported anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's why your best thing to do is just if you smash it though, you need to make sure you smash the data chip. So if you were to take a heat gun to it, pull the top off, or just smash it, pull the top off, find the RAM, the memory chip, and smash the memory chip. That's your security way to do it. So.
This is a little bit unrelated here, but this was about how Dan said about Windows 7 that my server has like an interface, so like a web interface, so you can like monitor the status of everything. And there's like a thing built in where you can actually like do like a remote screen view, so I don't have to plug a monitor into it. And that interface only works on Internet Explorer and Windows 7.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, it won't work on Internet Explorer on
It
Windows
will
10.
not work on Windows 10. It just, the page just doesn't want to load. It just gets all, there's so many.
And you're
there's like
using
all-
Internet Explorer, not Edge, because they're two different
I'm
programs.
using Internet Explorer.
Okay, that's interesting.
And it says like there's all sorts of errors when the page loads. Like it won't, like it just says like there's errors all over the page and stuff. Like it just doesn't want to load.
The new Edge is
server,
really messed up.
The
I'm not
server
surprised.
is from the Windows 7 era though.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So what I'll talk about on my part here, I usually don't do a lot of the talking, but we're going to today because we're talking about custom phones. So my primary phone is running Lineage, and one of the things I like about Lineage, some security people don't like the feature, but it has ADB root. And that means that I can, now, first let's start here. There's a difference between rooting your phone and installing a custom ROM. They are not the same. A lot of people try and say that they are or think that they are. They're not. So what we're doing with ADB root, going into developer tools, which requires my administrative password, booting it up, which again requires the password, I can access the root file system on this device while a cable is connected and the phone is unlocked and developer tools are turned on. That allows me to push a modified host file, which means I can do all my ad blocking. I can do all my mobile blocking. I've blocked Facebook. I've actually blocked Google on this. I've blocked everything on this. And that's why I like Lineage and Lineage derivatives, because I have that feature. And then I just keep everything turned off. So if somebody gets the phone, you're not going to be able to get into the encryption. Whole thing is encrypted. And for security, I actually have a couple different web browsers. My primary one is Firefox Clar, because it does not have GPS trackers at all. Like, it can't access the GPS system of the phone. It can't access the camera. It can't access the microphones. It is a stripped down version. And that actually routes all traffic through the Tor network. So that one there ultimately is a security browser. Now, oftentimes I need those types of functions without Tor. So I actually have Firefox installed, but I don't use it a lot. That's ClearNet with all of the capabilities. I use Chromium, which has all the capabilities, but uses the Tor network. And then I have the cheap browser, which is just cheap. I could probably get rid of it. So that's kind of why I like using this system. I've set up all of my contact calendar infrastructure through Nextcloud, so that all that kind of stuff is on my own encrypted Nextcloud server that I control. So that's what I end up doing for that. So that one there's running Lineage. This phone here is a test phone. This one's actually running Resurrection OS. Resurrection's cool. Now, they don't have newer versions for this phone, which is a Nexus 5X. But what I like about Resurrection is like every little fine detail is customizable. I even have on the header there, I have a nice, you probably can't see it, but it's a nice lightning bolt background on my header. Of course, you can see everything's nice blurred effects on all the settings. It's just it's a blinged out, really it's a bling out capability. Little painful to get it all set up, finding all the settings, but it's just so cool and all the things that you can do with it. It is running a little bit older version because it doesn't support the newer one, so I think it might actually be running on Android 7, if I remember correctly.
What is your Lineage running on? Mine is on Android 9. I haven't upgraded to the Android 10 Lineage yet.
Okay. Oh, surprisingly, this one is actually Android 8. This one's probably Android 8 is my guess. I don't really care for the newer features.
Have you upgraded to the Android 9 Lineage or the Android 10 Lineage?
I don't think my phone supports.
I think
I
your
have.
phone's not supported
9 or
anymore.
10.
Yeah,
The main difference between the two is that the Android 9 and above has the gesture navigation. As you see, the navigation bar is a little bit different down there, where it's just that one little button.
I think all of these Androids are running 8. Yeah, all of my Androids are running 8.1 is what I'm running on all these.
Yeah.
So, which for me, it works fine. I don't use any apps. For best practices, I do not have banking apps. I do not check anything. I don't log into anything on the phone at all. And so it's just a dummy proxy to access some things on the internet, checking my email, and using a few miscellaneous things. So like I power my Kodi box on the TV with it and things like that. So that's what we have.
Tom?
Now the third phone, hold on there, Mark. The third phone that I have here is actually EOS. I'm going to be doing a full review of this one soon. It's basically, it looks like an Apple. Woohoo! It's like an Apple Android. Now, Dan, you might be excited about this one because you can actually buy the phones from them already set up with this. And so you have the ability of using the EOS accounts, which is basically a Nextcloud instance on their servers. There is a downside of that. The downside of that, of course, is that if you are on somebody else's Nextcloud, the administrator of the Nextcloud service can still see the files, very much like uploading things
I don't
to
use
Apple.
Nextcloud. I don't cloud nothing.
Yeah. And so if you're using those cloud functions, you will have that same issue, same as Apple. But in this case, what you can actually do, the way that EOS is set up, is if you run your own Nextcloud instance, like I do, you can actually plug in your credentials into their system, and then you can have all of the phone syncing functionality, which is going to sync your calendars, contacts, photos, videos, notes, tasks. All of that will be synced to your private Nextcloud that you are the
I can
administrative
actually
controller
show you guys, show everybody how that works right now. I won't put in any credentials, but there's like a little thing you need to select.
Yeah, I actually have it right here, and I have this one's actually running a dummy account, so it doesn't matter if people see what it is.
Yeah, there's that little button you have to select that says.
So there's. Okay, so you can see where it says there. Whoa, if I can focus. It's not focusing right now, but the top one there, it's at an EOS account. And then when you click that EOS account, then
it looks like this right here.
Yep.
I don't know if mine's focusing better.
Yeah,
or
we'll
not.
see if any of them focus. There, yours focus better. Yours focus better. So you can see there
yeah,
where it says
all the way up.
Yeah, yours was fine actually. Yours was really good. So if you click that use specific server button there,
use a specific server right there.
you just plug in your Nextcloud server and then your login information, and then that'll actually sync several things in. And that list of items is your address books, application settings, calendar, mail, notes, pictures and photos, SMS, which is in beta, and tasks. So literally every aspect of your phone can be synced to your own private Nextcloud account, or you can use theirs. And their free account gives you 1 gig of storage. So, and then you can buy extra storage for some reasonable amount. So that's a definitely compelling option if you do want the security of a custom, secure-focused Android ROM, but without knowing how to flash them. That's an option. Yeah. There are some criticisms of it as well, like there are in everything, but there's actually some options. I'm looking at that going, that's actually reasonably good, very much set up the way I would actually set up my Lineage builds anyway, other than the fact that I actually hate the UI because I do not like the Apple's UI. Yeah. So that's that. All right, Mark, you had something you want to say? Oh, you're muted, Mark. Oh, you're still muted, Mark. It's like a Zoom meeting. You're muted.
Hey,
you're on mute.
Mark.
You're on mute.
Mike.
You're on mute.
Mike, this thing.
Tom,
I think he's trying. Yeah, go ahead, Quinn.
I can just show you some of the way you can actually port that Nextcloud functionality. Just take it out of E and just push it to a Lineage phone.
All right, I'll be interested in looking at that. If Mark gets his mic unmuted there, I'll let him say something. All right, any other fun talk about best practices and stuff like that? Yep, Mark, you're good. Good.
Well, I was going to ask, you say that you do not, here it is. You say that you do not use any of the mobile apps for the online banking, right?
No,
I know that you're a lot more mobile than I am as far as being able to get out and do. What do you do when you get a payment from for your business for the work that you do, like web design or anything? How do you go about making the deposit? What is there a way that I can avoid not having to have the banking apps on my phone at all?
I drive to the ATM and write off my miles.
You just go to the ATM and deposit
Yeah.
it.
You can just. I would just tell people that you don't accept Venmo and all those other payment apps. That's what I would
Well,
just
like,
tell them.
I don't mind PayPal, but I don't have to have PayPal on my phone. You know, send me
Right.
PayPal and I deal with it. So I have this nice little card here of operating systems, and this one that says banking on it right there. This guy here's my banking computer. Nothing gets
Right.
done with banking except this encrypted USB drive. Plug it in
Right,
any
that's what I'm
computer,
going to do.
decrypt it. I'm running all my banking systems. It's the only thing around here that has banking passwords. It's the only thing around here with anything related to banking. As far as possible data loss, once a month, all of the files on there get backed up to an encrypted file on my net server. So
Right.
I don't do anything other than that. So yeah, you can send me PayPal. That's fine. But if you send me a check, it just sits in my office until I run to the bank. And then you write off your miles because we have the ability to do that. Hey, I'll take a 55-cent a mile deduction. I think it's 55.
When I
Yeah.
do work, when I do
I
work
have
for
I
people, I
have a
just
lot
tell
of my
them to
clients
give me
that pay in
cash.
cash.
Yeah, cash is
I'm-
good.
But the thing is, well, a few of them pay in cash. Most of them end up paying with a check. The thing about the check is, my bank that I use for my business is TD Bank, and they're actually a pretty good, decent bank. But they are all up and down the East Coast. There's no ATMs that I'm aware of here.
Well, you need to
So-
find a bank that has ATMs in your area. So there's two major groups. One of those is MoneyPass, and then there's one other big ATM group. It's worth changing your accounts to get a local ATM. Now,
Yeah, I
they
think so.
changed some of the ATMs. So like the bank I use for my one business is a MoneyPass bank
Yeah.
ATMs, and the local PNCs used to be able to accept deposits at the MoneyPass, but they don't do that anymore. So I have to drive to the next city over. But you know, it's worth it. I do grocery shopping over there anyway because I'm not wearing a kufi catcher, and they don't care over there because they don't have TVs. They don't realize some pandemic's going on, and nobody's sick, surprisingly. You know, so I go over there, I do my grocery shopping, I deposit my checks, or I'll mail them in. I don't have a problem mailing a check in either. That's really old school, but that's what privacy is. Privacy, you are, every time you want the convenience, you're giving up your privacy.
Mark,
I'm going to be
Right.
inconvenienced.
get a bank close to you. Keep your money close to you. Don't let your money go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm-
am. I'm. The weird thing is, I'm on the East Coast, but like, I'm just below Tom. Not a terrible far amount. I considered PNC Bank as well. I like the idea of having a more established bank because I know with the credit union,
They're everywhere. I
P-
have 3 of them in this
processing times
area.
are
Yeah,
slower.
PNC though has become, in the last couple of years, have become a massive corporate mega bank, and they're the last type of bank you want to do business with. So I would not do business. I would not
Well,
start
I
an
will
account
not
with
do
Yeah,
PNC.
they're
PNC.
turning into another
Yeah.
Chase bank.
If you're already with PNC and you don't have any problems, stick with them. But do not create a new account at PNC.
Okay.
That you
Well, I
may
was
as well
gonna
go to
say,
Bank of America or something.
Let's say years ago, I
Yeah.
worked with a nonprofit and they used PNC. But
Yeah,
I don't know how they are now.
I used PNC for 15 years, and they were a great bank for 15 years. They went insane corporate, and it's just like, it was driving me so mad. I'm like, no, you're done.
My
So-
dad, for all his business stuff, he uses local banks because he can actually get stuff done.
Yeah,
Hey,
local
here-
banks are good. So one of my accounts, one of my local accounts is through a credit union, which gives you some of the better deals. One of my
Right, I'm
accounts
with the
is
credit
through just a small regional bank. Small regional banks are your best bet. And then if you get a small regional bank that uses MoneyPass, now if I go out west or something, I can still use the ATM without extra fees.
Yeah, I'm considering that. It used to be a bank called Great State Bank, but I'm considering Carter's Bank. Those are a couple regional banks, but the Great State Bank was supposedly a good bank, but it got gobbled up by one bank, and then both of them together got gobbled up by a bigger bank. That's how the banking world goes. But
Yeah,
I was just, the reason I'm not using my credit union, they have a fair usage policy, and I wanted something with faster processing transaction times. So, and there's not a lot of real good options of actual regional or local banks where I live. Wells Fargo is terrible. I think they
Yeah.
have gotten better.
Wells
over the
Fargo's
years.
been in a lot of trouble in the past, and including my company used them for 401k plans, and they got
Yeah.
into some snafu a few years ago
Yeah.
with the government, and they pulled everybody's 401k money out of Wells Fargo and put it into something else.
Yeah, Wells Fargo is. They were caught creating bank accounts in
Evil.
people's names
That's
to
it.
bolster their sales. FYI, they're also the ones behind the very scary renters social credit score system. Ooh, for you renters out
Wow.
there.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but anyway, I didn't mean to take away from the root of
No,
the
that's fine.
conversation.
I think we've kind of went down the line.
Yeah, we
for
kind of
phones.
exhausted it
So,
anyway.
anybody else have any final concluding remarks on phones, and then maybe we'll jump off a little early, or we'll check in on comments. Actually, let me check in on comments before we do final remarks. Let's see here. Where are we at? Moonbase Alpha Grace is here. Greetings. Take me to your space base, because I want off this rock. Of course, for you believers out there, it might be of interest to you that we had a peace deal go through with Israel and UAE. So that might be a revelation into the end of the times moment right there. Let's see. Of course, the warmonger put that peace deal together. Go figure that one out. Let's see. I'm seeing more and more services incentivize using a mobile phone for their service over desktop. Yes, everyone wants you to use their services for the mobile phone because they can collect data. And that's the last thing you want to do. So you push back. When they're like, hey, download our app and get blah, 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 tell them I don't download apps on my phone. Because
That's how Bank of America is. They have this thing called, I think it's called Zelle. Is that what it's called? They're like payments thing where you can like send people money and stuff.
They're another sucky mega bank.
Halib does that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have I know Venmo's one of them. That's a PayPal company, of course. But
Yeah, Venmo requires the app.
yeah, and I think that our bank is. I think I might be the only person at our bank without a phone number in the bank account, because when I put it together, I'm like, no, I do not use phone numbers to verify bank accounts. And so I was telling the guys, he's like, but you can't text somebody money. I'm like, good. I don't want to be talking to my friend about chicken wings or something and accidentally send him $20. Okay. You know, we spend time together once a week, and sometimes I buy and sometimes he buys, and we don't care. We don't take owns of who owes who what. We just, I buy, you buy, you buy, I buy. I think this week's my turn to buy, you know, we'll go out and get some ice cream or something and I'll buy. And, you know, It's like, I don't need to text somebody money.
You know, this is the stupidest thing. The other company who pushes, well, it's not really a company, but I got my driver's license recently, and the DMVs here are pushing their app so heavily.
Why? Of course, government spying app. Go figure. Doesn't that violate the Constitution right there? I mean, that's legit. I mean, no, Google collecting your data does not violate the Constitution. The DMV collecting your data does.
The other thing that they try to get people to use is you have to have, I'm sure other states are like this, but in Georgia, you have to have 30 hours of driving before you can get your license. And they try to push you this app. It's called Road Ready. It's by Toyota that basically logs your drives. And they try to push everybody to get on that.
Yeah, like, no, I'll get a parental signature. Thank you.
But that's what they do is you could just give them, I think you either like show them the app or you just get your parents to like sign.
The credit union I was with for over 20 years decided they were going to charge me $5 for every month for a paper statement.
Yeah, that's
I went down there. I walked in there with my last paper statement with the $5 fee on it. Told me, give me all my money. I'm done with you guys.
Yep, you can keep the $5 for a Your Stupid fund.
I told them I wanted that back too, and I said it loud enough so everybody in the branch could hear me.
Yeah, fun.
I told them I was a disabled, serious citizen, and I don't need to be taken advantage like this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course, maybe if you're wearing your hat, then you might stop and say, oh, well, maybe a lot of this COVID crap is just a ploy to get everyone to, okay, I guess I'll put Walmart's app on my phone now so I can shop at Walmart and have a disgusting, drooling employee pick up all my stuff and walk it out to my car when I'm ready.
They
No,
can't even
thank
get
you.
the stuff to your house, man. I ordered hair clippers from Walmart.
That's good. I don't want a Walmart employee coming to my house.
Well, no, they couldn't even get it through the mail. It left someplace down south and went to Birmingham, Alabama or something like that at a distribution center, and it disappeared off the face of the earth. Then try to get a phone number to fix that.
So we had a package that was coming from somewhere in South Georgia. It was my grandparents were trying to send us something, and it went to it went up to North Dakota and then came back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They've been doing stuff like that, Quint. I ordered a new stylus for my phonograph from LP Records. It left Kentucky, it went to Illinois, it went to Detroit, and this is where it gets screwed up. The people at the Detroit Distribution Center sent it back to Illinois. They sent it to Pennsylvania. They sent it back to Illinois, and finally it went back to Detroit and got here. And I ordered it express.
Yeah.
I think we're better off ordering stuff from halfway across the country now.
Yeah. Well,
I see that a lot with UPS
when I have my book
this
printing
was regular
company,
mail.
When I have my book printing company order me books, they're literally printed in Allentown, which is an hour and a half from here. They go from Allentown to Newark, New Jersey. They fly over the whole state of Pennsylvania into Youngstown, Ohio. They drive their way over to Pittsburgh and then Warrendale and then make their way to State College. It's like, really?
Like this package was supposed to go from my grandparents in South Georgia who live about 3 hours from me. Yeah. And it went up to like North Dakota or so. It was like
go figure. That's where the nearest NSA package checking service is. Come on. Carbon Programmer says Costco has an app for showing your member ID. Of course, it probably logs all the Bluetooth locations too. Same thing. CVS, the CVS app is actually a big Bluetooth beacon thing. It'll actually track you throughout the store and push notifications to your phone when you're near a sale. Kind of exciting. Let's see. Not always. Let's see. Still waiting on the Evergreen. Other side. Let's see. Refurb unlock LG 40 for $50. Oh yeah, we didn't even cover the Linux phones. There's the Pine phone. If Pizza were on, he had the.
What's the
Pine
deal
phone.
with the Librem 5? Are they shipping it or what?
I don't know at this point.
I don't follow that stuff.
I heard it wasn't that great of a phone.
Yeah, I mean, last I heard, it still couldn't. I mean, it could barely make calls. I think it could eventually now make calls. But to give them credit, they're trying. But
I mean, on Telegram, I've been seeing people get their Pine stuff.
Yeah, the Pine tablets should be shipping here within a week or two.
Yeah, people have been getting them on Big Daddy Linux's Telegram channel.
The tabs or the phones?
Both, I guess.
The tabs aren't shipping yet.
I think it's just the phones then.
Yeah, it must be the phones because I'm in the first batch to get a tablet, which they said they're shipping those and by the third week of August or so. So I'll have to check the forums and see if there's something.
When you order one of those, a Pine phone or a Pine tab, what OS comes on it by default?
UB ports, so it's the Ubuntu.
But you can flash other OSs.
Yes, it does have a bootable micro SD slot. So you can flash other things even without wiping it, presumably. But I'm going to do a full review with the Ubuntu port of it first.
I'm overdone on electronic devices. I ain't buying no more.
Oh, just get rid of some of the ones you have and get some new flashy ones. Dave says if you pay, then you get a product. If you don't pay, you are the product. Unfortunately, now though, because people are so used to having their data tracked, now even if you pay, you're still the product.
And you can still be the product. Yes, it really depends on what company you're doing business with or that you're signed up to. You might not think of it as a business transaction, but these free services like Facebook and everything is. Dude, you are the product. It is a business transaction. They're selling your data.
But If you are not the product and you're paying high dollar for something, and that company gets bought by another company, you all of a sudden
can
become the
always say
product,
yes.
even though you paid the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Kelly asks if credit unions are backed by the FDIC. No, they are backed by a different organization that's not the FDIC. They have the same insurance backing that's just not the FDIC. And I forget the name of it. It's like SPCU or something.
Yeah.
This is a little bit off topic again, but what is the difference between a bank and a credit union?
So a bank is a business. A credit union is technically a nonprofit, and all of the profits get shared
they're
between all of
nonprofit.
the members at the end. This is why credit unions generally have much higher rates on savings accounts. They have lower rates on borrowing money and loans because they take all their profits and then disperse it throughout all of the members.
Yeah,
That's why credit unions are generally a little bit better. How do you go about finding a small regional bank? You want to just look around all the banks in your area and then just visit their websites and see where they're stationed. You know, sometimes it's pretty easy. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. Sometimes it's their name, like the
Tom, they're backed by NCUA.
NCUA. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, you can. There's.
Hey, Sleepy Eyes Vince is on. How's it going?
There's lots of
Our
regions.
credit union's pretty good. It's kind of slid off in recent years, but it's still pretty solid. I mean,
Anna Rita's wife thinks my YouTube channel is a TV show. All right. Of course it is. It's STL TV. Carbon Program is one of the few people in the university without a Twitter account.
It's not that great. I don't know what's up. It's all tinny and kind of faded out.
Yeah.
I think it's just me. I think it's
you're fine on our end.
Yeah.
Except you got that millennial vertical thing going, but. Dan's cell phone. My cell phone wanted to go paperless. I said, no, give me paper statements, or it was nice to know you. They said that I can keep paperless statements. There you go. Let's see.
I'm sure if I would have pushed them, they would have waived the paperless thing too. But, they only go so far, and then they throw it back on there again.
Yeah. It's like trying to convince Comcast that you actually own your modem.
Yes.
Do they tell you, like, I think I asked you this before, but all over their website is stuff about why you should use their modem. And
I've never visited their website, so I have no idea.
Yeah, there is no
reason. If anyone needs help fixing their internet issues, a couple of things that you can try if you have intermittent connectivity or if you just have slow or poor quality internet. First of all, get your own modem and your own router and get them separate. Don't get a gateway. The separate tends to work best. And also go in and change your DNS to use either Google Public DNS or Cloudflare DNS. Probably Cloudflare at this point, but I would, even better, I would get like a DNS service. Pay a little bit a month for like a private DNS service.
I don't have a problem with Cloudflare's DNS. I've never had any issues with it. And the reason I use it, though, is because it's the fastest DNS in my area. Quad 9, I tried it. It slowed my internet down.
Tech, PinePhone is vaporware. What's your thoughts on that?
They just haven't, it's not coming out. Like, nothing's happened with it, right? Not PinePhone. I'm thinking Purism. That's what I'm thinking.
Purism. Okay.
Yeah, Purism.
Because PinePhone's got a lot of stuff going on.
My bad.
Well, correction. And I think that the difference is, to understand, if you guys are unaware of the issue going on, PinePhone and Librem 5 are the two Linux phones kind of in development right now. They both have some decent features like, manual toggle on-off switches for radios and things, which are really good. I mean, that's amazingly good. So the difference is that Librem 5 is trying to be like Apple. They're trying to control everything. We're going to build the hardware. We're going to build the software. We're going to put it all together. And the problem is that takes Apple-level resources. And Purism does not have Apple-level resources. So PinePhone said, hey, we're working on a Linux-only phone. Here's the hardware. You community deal with it. We're going to ship these out to you geeks. And that's what they've been doing. And because they've been doing that, and some of the early geeks have been getting that, then what'll happen there is the Pine phone has a whole lot more development and a whole lot more options. So to my knowledge, you can get a GNOME, a KDE, or an Ubuntu Pine phone desktop right now.
There's a Fedora Pine phone too.
Oh, is there? Okay.
I do want to get a Pine phone.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a neat thing to play around with. I might look at the numbers and see if I can do it. But
Yeah, you got to keep in mind in the back of your head, it's at toy status.
Yeah, that's even with the tablet that I have coming in. The Pine Tab itself is still and them
Destination Linux crowd, them guys in the Big Daddy crowd, they're very much into that stuff. They have no problem spending the money for it and tinkering with it to no end.
Yeah, and that's not my forte. So I'm not as interested in that. But the tablet is actually part of my longer term plan. So that's why I'm worth it. Oh, Sleepy Eyes Vince asks, I think this is for you, Tech. Can he vape a Pine phone?
Yeah.
Okay, it smells like pine needles, right?
It's just a big vape battery. That's all my iPhone is.
I really feel for all the normies out there. I mean, we're in this stuff every day. We pay attention to it all the time.
It's like
this privacy
Brave New
and security
World
stuff, and the channel's so valuable because there's so many people that are just ripe for the picking, and these huge companies know that, and the way they entice people and just what some of these huge companies are doing is just pure evil incarnate.
But we're just so
we're so prone to just give it over.
We don't care.
It's just the path of least resistance. Whatever's easiest, let's do that.
Oh yeah, but Google is now offering bank accounts. I remember that. Go ahead.
So this is about AT&T. This is about their internet, not their phone service or their mobile service. But so we have some family friends who are moving here, or they're moving to another town in Georgia from Montana. And they asked me about internet service and stuff, and I told them to get Spectrums. That's the best option in their area. They don't live where there's Google Fiber or anything.
That's just like telling your friend to go flog themselves.
Yeah. The other option, it's either Spectrum or AT&T. And they called AT&T first because AT&T has fiber. But the problem is that AT&T does not let you use your own router, and you can't bypass it. The router does some kind of encryption thing with some other AT&T piece of equipment that makes it impossible to use your own router.
I thought though you could get just a router. Like, I don't mind if using their router as long as it's just a router, just a modem and not the router.
You can't do that. There's no bridge mode.
When I experimented with it, I was able to. That was a couple years ago, but I was able to get just the modem without router.
Was this with AT&T?
That was AT&T, yeah. The service sucks.
Doing that anymore, as far as I'm aware. The best thing you can do is there is like some kind of pass-through mode, but you're still double natting. Mm-hmm. And I told them they have their own router. They have like Netgear Orbi mesh routers, and I told them that you're not going to be able to use that without having a double NAT on AT&T. And so I told them just to get Spectrum.
Yeah, that might be the better option.
Well, AT&T is named American Thugs and Thieves for a reason.
Yeah, Spectrum though is a new spectrum of stupidity, but there's really no good option right now.
The thing about Spectrum though is they're one of the only cable companies that still does a separate modem and router. And they provide the modem to you for free, so you don't even have to go buy your own modem.
I got my modem
except they're
for
still
free.
Tied up in a case, charging a guy $10 a month for his own modem.
Was that a different? That I've never had any issues with Spectrum. We actually do at our other house. We have Spectrum, and we actually have our own modem because their modem had like all sorts of overheating issues. But I think they've changed it since then.
Yeah, it's a little better now. Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of the old.
Get pretty hot.
This was an older Aris one. It was one of those ones. It was the black boxes that are like flat.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. Anthony McDonald in the chat says he's using Wide Open West. I said Wide Out West, my bad. But yeah, it's Wide Open West. I just switched over to WoW, and they're like same speed as Comcast for almost half the price every month. I'm enjoying it a lot so far.
Is that available in my area? Holy crap!
let me. I'll take a look for you. I don't think so, but I'll take a look.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this one up at this point. Hey, Tux Digital's on. Greetings, Tux Digital. Check out Tux Digital's show if you guys are really interested in the tech stuff, like the really in-depth stuff. He's really good at that. So check out Tux Digital's show there.
Shaw Cable.
Let's see. I think that's all. Yeah, I think we're just gonna cover that. So Dan, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts. The truth is, I'm more confused than ever. No, really, when I got into this cell phone business, I didn't give privacy or anything like that a second thought. I just bought what worked best for me, but I'm kind of glad now that I do have an iPhone and I don't have an Android phone because of all the stuff. Ever since I got into Linux, it's changed the way I think about even phones, And nobody wants their privacy poked around in and their security taken away from them. I don't like the fact I got to spend $1,000 for a phone, or when they're on, wait till they go on sale for $400 to get an iPhone.
$100, baby, $100.
Yeah, but I got to have something that's reliable.
I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah, but you know how to fix it. I don't.
I've never had to fix it.
I don't want to take the time to learn how to play with it. When you got a Lineage phone and the battery in it starts going south, and you take it up to the phone store, and the guy's like, "What's this stuff?" You're kind of stuck on your own.
This one here, this one needs a battery. So you just pop the back off, and there's the battery component right in there. I'm not going to take it out of the
If you really
bag,
believe that much in that kind of stuff, man, you need to open a Lineage store right down the street from you. Ooh. Line it up full of nice new Lineage OS phones. Do tech support.
Don't do it.
Have a Louis Grossman type thing going on.
This phone is like the hardest phone to open. It gets a 1 out of 10 repairability score.
Yeah,
between
that and that ugly notch, I would never own it.
This phone has a 1 out of 10 repairability score, but ROMs and flashing, this is a 10 out of 10 phone. You can do whatever you want to this guy.
No notch. Headphone jack, easy to open. You can get almost every single component of this thing separately.
I hate about that phone, though, is the bezels on that phone are huge. This phone is almost like completely full screen.
Yeah, I don't care if
no
it's full
notch
screen.
either.
Yeah, I don't care if it's full screen. I just don't want a notch. All right, Mark, what are your final words? Mark, final words?
No. Where are we gonna sleep?
All right, Quint. Final words.
Avoid Google, like I said. That's pretty much the main thing. Is that if you're going to use Android, flash a custom ROM. If you're going to use Apple, don't use iCloud and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than that, there's not much to what I already said.
All right, Tech. Final words.
Use what works best for you. I've got we didn't really get into it since we were just talking about our daily drivers, but I've got a phone with Lineage OS and one with the Android open source project on it. So, if you're willing to put the effort into it, and it's not that difficult, go for it. And just Quint, you're basing everything on your phone about how much you can flash it. No repairability at all. You don't care about that at all. It's just, can I play with it?
It's just there wasn't another phone that met the specifications that I needed. Well, yes, I don't like that you can't open it. There were only a couple of other options. At the time that I got this phone, I don't know if it's changed now, there was Lineage and Verizon.
Yeah, it's a tinker phone is what it is.
I'm going to leave you with a final thought. I have more telemarketers by far and robocallers call me on this overpriced piece of junk of technology than I do family, friends, or anybody else on this planet. 4 times a day. Your car's warranty is about to expire. Health insurance. You need cheaper health insurance. All, from A to Z.
I get the
Lots of
car
numbers, man.
too. I get that car insurance is about to expire, which I know because it's not because I just got a car and the insurance is nowhere close to being.
They just bought your number somewhere.
They call me and tell me my warranty in a car I owned 10 years ago is about to expire.
Yeah. All right. My final thoughts, of course. Decide and weigh the options. We are starting to see more options come down where you could buy a security-focused custom ROM phone. So like these phones, definitely not perfect, but if you want something that might be better than Apple, you can buy those for as little as $250 on a Galaxy S7 or as much as I think $500 on an Essential phone. I'm asking them, I have not heard back yet, but I'm asking them about, can you purchase those in the US? All their prices are in euros right now, and I don't know if they ship and sell to United States or not. But I'm getting that answer, and hopefully I will have it by the time I finish my video.
One of the other
phone
things
home.
that it's on their website. I don't think they're doing it yet, but there's a thing where you can send them a phone and they'll flash it for you.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think they're doing it. It just says coming soon.
Yeah, they're also, I believe I've heard, working on a tool where you just download the tool, plug in your phone, and it will do everything for you.
That's how UB Ports is.
Yeah. Sleepy Guys Vince Quint is saying you're old enough to drive. What?
Yeah, I can drive.
You know, there is other things on this phone that I do like to use too. Like I do like Siri because I can't spell very well anymore. I'm constantly asking Siri to spell stuff for me.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up here, and I will be streaming on my other channel at 9 o'clock, which is 45 minutes from now, and that's a Christian channel, so if you're into that kind of stuff, check me out over there. We are wrapping up the book of First Peter today, so I'll drop the link for there in that, but you can come on over if you are interested, and if not, then we will just see you tomorrow for the weekly news roundup. So thanks, everybody, for coming on and sharing your thoughts on phones, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace, kids.
Bye.
Peace out, yo.
See ya, everybody.